Diana surprises the Queen and says divorce is on. Charles told in face-to-face palace meeting.
6 months after this revelation, Diana made a huge shock announcement.
After divorce, the princess made clear she wanted time to consider her future. Few could have guessed this would involve giving up so many charities. She'll continue to back only 6 organisations.
Without warning, she had resigned from over 100 charities, leaving the organisations in total dismay.
Turning Point helps with drug rehabilitation. Like the 100 other groups affected, Diana's told them in a letter that following divorce and her change of status, she's decided with great sadness to withdraw patronage.
I was both saddened and surprised. I mean, surprised in that we had not expected to lose our patron, and saddened that we had.
Along with Turning Point, charities like Bernardo's and Help the Aged had also lost their patron.
It was a huge blow to the voluntary sector.
Dame Esther Ranson, founder of Childline, had worked with Diana since 1990 when she opened the child abuse hotline.
She had been so important, spreading awareness, raising funds, turning ordinary, boring dinners, lunches, buildings being opened into really glamorous occasions that everyone remembered.
It has mattered so much to all of us that not only that you care for the nation's children, particularly the children who are feeling pain, but that you care and believe in this idea. We really value your support so much.
And the idea that we were going to lose her was very difficult, very challenging.
This had a tremendous impact. The balls that people attend, if the royals are there, the auctions, it's all predicated on access, and people will spend a lot of money for that. So these charities really suffered when she decided to pull back, because after all, Diana was the biggest name in the game.
Everybody was horrified. The royal family, Charles, the Queen, were all horrified, and those charities were absolutely devastated.
And Diana was not ready for the impact it would have on her own life.
Handed her 6 months of empty diary planning sheets. She said, "What's this?" I said, "That's your future program. It's empty." And she flicked through the pages, and her face, she stopped smiling and started to look a bit serious.
But I think she also discovered that she was losing something. The coverage that she was getting, the adulation that she was getting from the press, from the public, from those charities, was something that really sustained her.
Diana had chosen to remain patron of just 6 charities, but the decision left her with time on her hands. Consequently, in the following months, she became more, not less, committed to the few that she cared most about.
She then felt, OK, I'm my own woman, I'm a single woman, I'm going to get on with it, I'm going to do things my way, I'm going to support the charities, the few charities or causes that are close to my heart, where I feel I can make a difference.
After Charles and Diana formally divorced on the 28th of August 1996, the princess was free to make a new impact on the international stage. In January 97, she travelled to Angola with the Red Cross.
But before she landed, in started landing the other planes with the journalists, and they just kept landing and landing and landing. And suddenly there was about 80 or 90 journalists and TV crews. The door opened and out comes Diana. I thought of, oh my God, I'm about to meet the most famous woman in the world.
The new Diana believed she could make an impact on serious international issues. Her butler, Paul Burrell, was also on the trip.
The reason why Diana was interested with landmines was because it was a forgotten cause, which was creating havoc throughout the world.
She met many soldiers whose lives have been destroyed by mines. They are unaware of exactly who they are talking to, but she is listening, and they're hoping she can help. 13-year-old Sandra, an orphan, lost her leg 2 years ago and has been waiting for an artificial replacement ever since.
Every 6 months, she's 7 years old.
Not for the last time today, the princess was visibly moved.
So Diana thought, well, this isn't fair. It's just not right that small children can be blown up because they weren't part of the war. They didn't ask for the war. That's why she got involved, mainly because of children.
Diana had agreed to create the photo op of the decade.
The only really uncomfortable moment of the day was that when we first arrived at the minefield and we put her into the body armour, we put the body armour over the Red Cross logo. And so the first time she and I and a colleague walked in, I showed her how demining was undertaken, and she then blew up a mine.
1, 2, 3, firing.
There was a request for her to go back with the Red Cross logo on, and I think she was quite uncomfortable with that request and didn't really want to go back in on her own. But she did what was needed, and she responded positively to it. She changed the position of the logo and walked out and walked back.
The princess could tell a story in a picture. She was brilliant at doing that. She knew what to do, how to perform, and how to get her message across without actually saying anything.
The image of Diana walking through a partially cleared minefield captured headlines worldwide.
In many ways, she was taking her life in her hands when she walked that walk. It had a huge effect, of course it did. I mean, it's one of the most famous images that we remember of Diana is walking through that minefield.
The public, the press, everybody was seeing her as this saint, this extraordinary woman who was prepared to put her own life in danger to publicise the horrors of war.
But the pictures had stirred up a hornet's nest at home.
Oh yeah, I'm in favour of banning landmines, but I don't need a member of the royal family to tell me what to do.
I would compare her action this week with that of Brigitte Bardot in support of cats. It's very emotional and very media-worthy, but it doesn't add anything to the sum of human knowledge.
Find anything?
We'd been there about a day. It was hot and it was sweaty, and I just managed to get into bed about midnight when the phone went and the news desk were on saying, Diana is a huge story back here in the UK. You need to cover it.
There was one incident in the day when the BBC correspondent asked her a question about politicising the issue.
We were walking along the street and I seized my moment and said, ma'am, you've been called a loose cannon for this trip, and you've been siding with Labour, it is said.
I'm only trying to highlight a problem that's going on all around the world. That's all.
And that really upset her, and she was quite agitated after that.
I think what she knew was that she had this ability to cut through. And as long as she didn't cut through in an overtly political way, she could make the difference that I think she was genuinely trying to make.
It was an issue which Diana pursued doggedly, travelling to Bosnia 6 months later to meet more landmine survivors.
It is my sincere hope that by working together in the next few days, we shall focus world attention on this vital, but until now largely neglected, issue.
She transformed the way the world saw landmines, and it coincided with the Ottawa Agreement that banned landmines worldwide.
A few months later, this campaign won the Nobel Peace Prize.
The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to...
The low-key announcement by the committee was the culmination of one of the most remarkable campaigns of recent years, awarding the Peace Prize to a group that has helped mobilise public opinion against landmines.
But for Diana, the International Landmine Treaty would be her last great impact on the charity world. All awards and achievements would prove to be posthumous. Just 3 weeks after visiting the killing fields of Bosnia, Diana was to die in a Paris underpass. How would those she left behind be able to carry on with her passionate humanitarian legacy?